It's another overcast day in beautiful Cairns in winter. Just the second last day I should say of June. Almost the end of the financial year. Got to do my tax pretty soon, but today other financial situations are on my mind, and that's basically house hunting. I'm going to an inspection in Edge Hill, and it's only a small property. It's a one-bedroom flat, but what I like about it is landscaped. Sorry about the noise here. It's a busy road, Martin Street, and it's quite a nice block of land it's on, with a few flower beds, quite attractive. The thing I'm specifically looking for now though is an upstairs flat, because I'm fed up with getting noise from upstairs neighbours. Everywhere I've stayed in Cairns I've had this, actually everywhere. I thought there was an exception, but there wasn't. Oh yes, there was one exception, but every place bar one that was on the top floor I had to put up with noise from the roof above or the floor above. It just seemed to be something that always happens. Maybe I'm intolerant to that sound, I don't know, but it's something I tell real estate agents that I'm looking for. And of course, being looking to buy a place, you have the luxury of being able to pick and choose a lot more, because funnily enough the actual sales market here, house sales market, is dead, flatlining. So there's no rush to buy a property at all. However, if you want to rent, it's cutthroat. So it's bizarre how different it is in the two different markets. But I want something that's going to be reasonably quiet, and that means upstairs. This is only a small place. I've looked at other places that have got their upstairs apartments through another agent, and in Parramatta Park, where I am right now, it's it is more expensive than Edge Hill, although Edge Hill's not cheap. The price on this property though they're asking is better than 119,000. I think it's 129,000. It's chicken feed. I think it's 129 actually. Better than 129 is what they're asking, which you could never get a property like that in a place like Melbourne. Edge Hill is actually quite an attractive suburb, and I'm thinking, I've seen the pictures of the place. It's nothing flash, needs a little bit of renovation, not a huge amount. It's not big, but it does fit my specifications, and it's in a particularly nice area. I mean, I've got two options here. I can either live really close to where all the main shops are, Parramatta Park, but you do pay a lot more for places around here. So the places I've been looking at here, which are a little bigger, they're two-bedroom places with a balcony, so it's a bit unfair to compare directly, but they're about 100,000 or more, so they're about 250 or more they're asking for, 250,000 or 260,000, just depending which properties you're looking at, around that figure. Whereas this one is really cheap and a very low body corporate rate, and that's another big issue here. So I've only seen one that I would actually put an offer in. Here there were two properties that were two-bedroom places just down the road from where I live, which is, probably my preferred option. But Edge Hill has its charms too. It's actually a more genteel suburb. However, there's always pros and cons, and I'll just give you a bit of a look around the Edge Hill and tell you what the advantages are. They'll become pretty well apparent if you. I've already done videos on Edge Hill in the past, but it's been pretty apparent when you see the surrounds. It's a fairly sought after suburb, given its proximity to gardens and what have you. So, but Parramatta Park is very practical, very close to the hub of the city, and relatively cheap for being so close to the city centre compared to big cities. But it's expensive compared to, say, this Edge Hill place. But again, the Edge Hill place is only one bedroom, so we'll see what it looks like. It's nothing flash, but it could be a good buy. And it isn't a good part of the Edge Hill too, because there's ratty parts of that suburb, and this is in the prime location. So that's why I'm bothering to go and see it today. So, and the other thing is the agent is not from the area, so I'm wondering whether they've undervalued it. They're from Smithfield, which is a suburb a little, a few kilometres north of here, and maybe they're looking more at Smithfield values, although you'd think that they'd be pretty au fait, but you just never know. You do hear about these stories, so I thought it's worth checking out. And it's quite a nice walk, and I get to actually walk the distance along the pathway along the Lily Creek, so it's quite a good walk. Only downside is the bloody weather lately. It's just been overcast and drizzly, so it's sort of like winter, but not with the same. It hasn't got the cold. I'm wearing a wind cheater, but I could certainly put the sleeves up on it, and I'm still wearing shorts, so it's still a lot better than winter in, say, a place like Melbourne. Even though Melbourne's having a relatively mild winter, the temperatures are definitely much lower there. I mean, the low temperature here I think is 19 degrees overnight. Down there I think the top temperature, you'd be lucky if it gets to 13 or 14 degrees, and that's only fleetingly during the day, so no comparison. But yeah, it's a very pleasant walk down here, even on an overcast day. And so we're walking up north towards Edge Hill. By the way, I looked at two places in Parramatta Park, and they were in the opposite sides of a street. One of them was on a main road called Severn Street, and the other one was on Primrose, which is actually the opposite side of the road to the other one. So they were sort of abutting each other, but one was in a small suburban street and the other one was in a main road. The one in the main road, it was quite nice, except for one major thing. It was facing west, and it's a top floor, and you could just imagine how bad that would be during summer. And the hot weather lasts here for about 3 months, so that's a bit of a downside. Whereas the other flat was looking back in the easterly direction, which is much more preferred, I think, practically speaking, so you don't turn to a crisp. So got to look at all the practical aspects of where you're going to live, because you're going to be there for a while. I'm not intending to rent this place out, I'm intending to actually live in it. So I'm being fairly cautious, and although it's not ideal where I'm living, in that I've got that upstairs noise, I could be worse off. It's not terrible, it's just a little irritating. So I think I'll be able to stay there for another year or so if I want to. And given that the Reserve Bank has been forecasting recently, one of the Reserve Bank board members was saying that he's expecting that interest rates could go up by 2% in the next couple of years. That's going to put a real dampener on prices of houses. So it may be worth waiting. The smart move may be to wait a few years to rent and wait for the market to really flatline. But there's also the lifestyle aspect. I'd like to have my own place. So if I find the right place, I'll take it, but I won't be forced into taking anything. There's no need to rush, which is a good luxury to be in. So that's the situation, and it's going to take me about 40-50 minutes to get up there, so I left a little earlier. So I think I don't have the push bike. I have to do it the hard way. In any case, it's looking a bit threatening weather-wise, so that may not work out. The worst thing about the wet weather here is these sandals get quite damp, so it feels like you get a bit of foot rot. Feels like it anyway. So that's about the only major problem for me. But apart from that, it's okay as long as it doesn't piss down. This is the worst part of this walk. You're walking past bloody workshops, which are right next to the pathway, unfortunately. Some sort of a depot workshop area. So it's a pity it's right here, but I guess they may have been here before the path was built. Who knows? But it's just a shame. But in most cases, this is actually quite a nice walk. And I've shown it to you from my bike point of view, push bike point of view in the past, but those days are past me at the moment. I might get another push bike. The weather's good, is okay to ride are pushed by about 9 months of the year, so it's not too bad and it's fairly flat. So we'll see, we'll just see. But I'll probably get myself an El Cheapo Kmart special, I reckon.